It's morphin' time! Hello, this is Soundout here, and welcome back to another Super Sentai review. Today we'll be taking a look at the Kikai Sentai Zenkaiger Zenkai Change Heroes series. I think that's the official name. This is a set of figures released at the start of Kikai Sentai Zenkaiger's toy line in March 2021. These figures retail for about 1,500 yen a piece and are similar to the Yudo series while they are a little different, but the biggest thing is that they are fully painted, nicely articulated, Super Sentai action figures at retail. Something I didn't think we'd see again. It has been a very long time since we've had something like this. So we're taking a look at all 5 of them today. That's going to be Zenkaiser, Juon, Gaon, Majin, and Vroon, which is all 5 members of the main team. And what's really cool is that the Kikai-Noids, which are these 4, actually do transform into their animal forms. So, pretty exciting. Quick look at the package. These come packaged like this. These are not Yudo figures. There is a separate Yudo series, if that is such your thing. But for me, I saw these and pre-ordered them off Amazon Japan as soon as they went up. So I was like, oh, those look amazing. And they do look amazing. I love the packaging art as well. Very nice stuff. So we got Zenkaiser here. Zenkaiser, of course, is the one human member of the team, and he is packaged with the Gatring, which is their transformation device. So kind of cool, he comes with the main weapon. But he is kind of, I think, the plainest of them, because you go look at Juon here, who is a homage to Zyuranger and Daijujin. He actually turns into a T-Rex, which we're going to try to make that look a little better than that, because that looks a little weird. But pretty cool. So you got Zenkaijuon actually written there. And then you can see how the transformation works. Looks like they kind of explode and then reform. So we'll look at that in a bit. Here's Kikaigaon, probably my favorite design. I also just like yellow lion themed Super Sentai members. So that's definitely biased. And I love Gao Ranger. And he's based on Gao Ranger. As you can see, the numbers on their heads correspond to that. So there's Gaon. Again, hero mode, Kikai mode, pretty cool. Majin here, the lone female of the group. She is based on Maji Ranger and Maji King, so pretty cool. There, looking nice. And then lastly, we've got Vroon, who is based on Bokenger and Daiboken. So pretty cool overall. I like the English names on the packaging, because that actually clears up a lot of how do we Romanize this? It's Vroon. So yeah, let's crack these open and take a look. We'll take a look at them one at a time, but let's do it. Alright, so we're starting off with Zenkaiser. Now his cape is a separate piece, so all I gotta do here is plug that on. And then he also includes the Gatring, which is unpainted, but fairly nicely detailed, and that just slips into his hand. And there you go, so that's pretty much his whole thing. But the first question out of everyone's mouth is that Aka Ranger? Is that Big One? Well, he's kind of a mixture of both, design-wise. Mythology-wise, that's a whole different discussion. But he is kind of a nice design mixture of Aka Ranger from Himitsu Sentai Go Ranger, and then also Big One from Jaka. I'm a big fan of Big One, so it was actually really a cool design. It's kind of based on the first 2 Sentai, which weren't even counted as Super Sentai for many, many years. But yes, Zenkaiser here has a very nice, striking design. And yeah, really cool. I love having this guy in a fully painted form. A Yudo figure that does exist, I think, is going to be all stickers, which is just going to... It's really not going to be as cool. That being said, he isn't fully painted. As you can see, the wrist cuffs are only painted on the front. Same with the boot cuffs there. There's essentially no paint on the back. But, you know, for the price you're getting it for, not too bad. Now, articulation-wise, he does have a left and right swivel, up and down. It is a... Oh, that's good to know. The antennae are rubbery. Shoulders move out. They rotate 360. They also pull out of the torso, like this, which lets you get them moving out. Super-duper cool. And bicep swivel, and elbow bend, and wrist swivel, and hips that move out, forward, back, knees, thigh swivel, even though that really breaks up the sculpt there. And then you got really good ankles. That's one of my favorite things about Yudo-style figures. And yeah, that's the basics of the figure. He articulates, he stands, that's it. Now, that being said, the question on everyone's mind, most likely if you're a Super Sentai collector, is how do these scale with Yudo? And the answer is, well, they're the exact same size. Here's Lupin Red, which, yeah, as you can see, they are essentially the same height. So Zenkaiser is not a larger size. We weren't entirely certain what was going on with that when the promotional images came out and the product information. But yeah, this guy is essentially a painted Yudo figure. So he's got the same kind of neck joint, same joint design for the elbows. The only difference is you don't have to build this guy and you don't have to sticker this guy. This guy's got a ton of sticker detail, no stickers. So in that sense, it kind of feels like the Hero Change series for Zenkaiger is painted Yudo figures. Do I have a problem with that? Not really. This is the scale that Sentai figures are going with the Super Shoto sets and with Yudo that's been going on since Q Ranger, even though we never got all the Q Rangers, which was a bummer. So yeah, I kind of dig it. Plus, I think he might be compatible with some of the swappable hands that Yudo's had, so pretty cool. But overall, that's Zenkaiser. Not much else to say about him. He is pretty awesome. Here's Kikaijuon out of the packaging. You need to put this back part on. It's just a little block that goes in one of those two holes. I put it on the upper one, typically. And then we're going to give him the sword. And yeah, there he is. So this guy, of course, is kind of the de facto red of the team, even if he's not the team leader. I can see the 16 on his head, because Zyuranger was the 16th Super Sentai. And his head is very much Daijujin, which is pretty cool. As you can see here on his chest, nice little T-Rex mouth. Very nice proportions overall. I think that's one of my favorite parts of these figures, that they look more like the suits of the hero modes as opposed to something that has to transform, which actually is really nice to see. So you can see we got silver paint here on the legs and the feet. So everything's painted just like with Zenkaiser. I'm not going to say that multiple times, even if I forget, and do it anyways. Nice tampography here. I like that we got the shoulder part. But yeah, overall pretty cool. Articulation-wise, his head does turn left and right. Shoulders do rotate 360. They move out, which is awesome. He's got a elbow swivel, an elbow bend, and then the elbow pops off. We'll get into that in a moment. No wrist swivel, just the elbow swivel. Waist swivel, hips that move out, forward and back, knees that bend and rotate at the thigh, as well as ankles that move left and right, and a little bit forward back, but not much. Now, let's talk about this guy, and one of the things I've noticed with the Kikanoids. They are designed to transform, but they are also designed to come apart in almost every way imaginable. Almost like these molds were designed for Yudo, and then they decided later that they were going to do actual articulated figures as retail components, because these guys come apart in so many ways. We have massacred poor Juon here. I'm going to reassemble him, and we'll get to the transformation. But yes, almost every single part comes apart, which is kind of insane. Alright, now that we've reassembled Juon, let's disassemble him again, except in a more linear fashion. So we're going to remove the sword. We'll turn the head around, remove this back piece here. Remove the waist, take the arms, just fold them straight back like this. Then we take the legs and remove them from this piece. And we're going to attach them to this piece in a specific way. And I'm totally not looking at the instructions right now so that I don't screw it up, but here we go. I'm going to bend the knees a little bit because it kind of gives it a little look, but let's get stuff back together. I want you to notice that's how easy some of these parts pop off. That is something important. So we're going to plug this in. It goes on the bottom hole in the back. And then where does this piece go? Oh, this piece goes between the legs here, which is kind of awkward. But then we plug the tail in the back. And we're done. He's in T-Rex mode, and he looks less than exciting. So essentially the only problem here I've noticed is that when you get him transformed, you can't really get this lined up because this block's in the way. So let's take this block off. Okay, so now we've got a decent-ish looking T-Rex, but his head's just sticking up. So let's take that off. So you got that going, and then the legs pop off again. The pegs on the T-Rex mode are just so small that they're not going to hold. Like, if you notice here, they're very short compared to the longer pegs for the hero mode. So it actually kind of almost works better if you swap this out, except you can't quite, you have to do it like this, and then I can put it like this, and then he's got super long legs, but they stay on better, and then you can still plug the tail or not. I'm not sure how to improve on that. That seems to be the weakest spot, is getting this here, and then this here is fine, except, you know, you have, look at this side because it's painted, but then look at this because it's hollow. You could put the head down here, which I think looks a lot better, and then you can get the T-Rex here, and then, so let's try to do that, and then let's just like leave this part off, or just, I actually kind of, why isn't it not just plugged up here? This is actually an issue I noticed with Ryu Soldier's mecha design, was you could fix their design problems with like a little bit of effort from the official. So here's my unofficial Juon Kikai T-Rex mode, and you can see the problem here. So while I love these figures, I cannot, you have to have them straight-legged. Is straight leg the only way he's staying together? Straight leg is the only way he's staying together. So yeah, you get this really awkward T-Rex, which is saying something considering the deluxe mecha and even the mini Pla. I gotta say, just in general, don't buy these figures just for this mode. They're definitely better in the hero mode than the Kikai mode, because this is me improving it, and it's still like, you know, let me move the legs a little bit, and then hope he stands. And yeah, he does okay, but you move those hips in the wrong direction, and he just... So maybe don't buy these for these modes. Get them for the robot, or the main hero modes, but not the beast modes. I'm not going to harp on this too much for the rest of them, because I feel like that's going to be the case for all of them, but yeah. That's probably the weakest spot on these, but the hero mode is really nice, and that's kind of what's more important, at least to me. Next up is Zenkaigaon. Now, Gaon here, we're going to put his backpack on, give him his claw, which, that's not how the claw's attached. It's attached to the arm. I'm not paying attention. Woo! So this guy actually does share a lot of parts with Juon, so I'm going to bring him in. As you can see, pretty much the same hips, the same waist, the same backpack piece, the same arms, just with some different attachments, which is why he's got an extra peg here, because of this guy. So they did kind of mold these two to be very similar, which I guess is appropriate since they do combine in their larger mecha forms, which they don't do here. They don't combine, they just transform. So there's that. So articulation-wise, head pivots, shoulders move. As you can see, weirdly, just stuff kind of pops apart. This is something I expect with Yudo, so I'm not surprised, because these essentially are... I think essentially, the Zenkai Change series is painted Yudo. But yeah, he's got the same exact articulation as Juon. So they are painted Yudo figures, so keep that in mind, because even though they're not like in a model kit format where you're putting them together, they certainly feel like model kits, especially if you like push something too far and it goes boop. Which I actually kind of like. It prevents stuff from breaking, but over time might be an issue. But I still love it. Model kits are kind of my thing lately, so this doesn't bother me too much. Now, he does transform, of course, just like Juon. So just like him, I'm going to pull him apart. So let's bring the legs out. We're going to remove the shoulder bits and the claw. Like that. Pull that off. His head actually removes. That's nice. And the back. So we'll take this, fold the arms like this. We're going to put this animal leg here. And then this animal leg here. I'm catching this all on camera. That'd be nice. I guess that's how that looks. We're going to put this on top here, which is cool. And we'll take what I'm calling the transformation blocks that serves no other purpose but to hold things together in the transformation. And we're going to fold the legs down here. And this will plug in like that. See how easy it is to hide the head away? They did it on Gaon, but they didn't do it on Juon. And then there you go. There is his lion mode, which outside of robot hands being right exactly there, and again, simple design fix, Bandai. Look, I fixed it for you. It already looks 10% better. Again, not sure if that's relation to the deluxe toy design, but just push the arms back. It's not too hard. But anyways, that's all I'm doing to fix it, because everything else is pretty good. So there is that. You still have articulation here in the shoulders, so if you wanted him to like claw, sort of can. He's not really doing a whole lot. Actually, these hind legs might get him to... Rear up. And his foot popped off. Woo! So... I don't know why... Oh, they're going with the other foot. So, yeah, I think what I'm getting at is that these are great, but keep in mind that they are not necessarily the most stable things in existence. But yeah, at least, you know, nicely painted. Mouth doesn't open. But that's fine, because it opens on the deluxe and looks horrifying because he doesn't really have a jaw. It's just kind of two halves of a head put together. Anyways, you get the idea. There is Gaon. So next up is Majin. She actually, similar to the others, just has a part that just plugs onto the back, which is transformation stuff, and then a weapon that I don't understand. Okay, it goes like that. I'm not exactly sure what that is supposed to be, but it's cool. So here she is. A completely different mold than the others. Obviously, she is a female Kikainoid. Articulation-wise, head still swivels, shoulders still pivots. Runs into her backpack when you try to move them, though. That's a problem. There goes her shoulder. Elbows rotate, hips move, skirt flies forward, thigh swivel right there above the knee, knee bend with the knee popping apart, and then an ankle joint, which pivots back and forth, and then forward and back. So pretty cool. I mean, she can get posed pretty decently. But, yeah, she's, she looks weird, and I don't know what it is, and I'm not saying that, like, it's a weird design, it's just more so, like, this toy version, it's, like, it's accurate. Like, you compare it to the artwork they provided, and it's just, like, I think, is she missing paint, or is her face just sculpted differently? Oh, she's missing the gold. Anywho, I'm just getting off tangent. Overall, looks pretty good. Again, painted Yudo figure is what this line is. So keep that in mind as we go to transform her. So we're going to remove the head. Again, Juon's like the only one that doesn't do the head removal. It's like Robot Transformation 101. Come on, Plex. Let's get the backpack off, and we'll separate her at the waist. So then this piece is just going to fold like this. The wings will fold up. And then the elbows bend to get them out of the way. Why couldn't that be in the official instructions for Gaon? I don't know. And then we got this piece here, which is going to fold like this, and like that. There we go. I wasn't exactly sure where that was going. Surprise twist here. And then we got this here, and then the head plugs into that, I think. There we go. Head plugs into that. That plugs into that. This plugs into the body. Oh, I see. I see. Her hands are like the claws of the dragon. That's smart. And this, of course, as you can kind of see from there, just kind of clamshells together, I think. So I get that lined up. Pop that together. And yeah, I think we're done. Except I have no idea where that's supposed to... Oh, I see. This is supposed to go here. This is supposed to go here. These rotate. I got that bong. My mistake. My bad. Here we go. There's her dragon form. So now the interesting part here with the dragon form... Oh, wow. Okay, the skirt actually rotates. You can actually articulate, because of the leg joints, the dragon head. So that's actually, I think, looks better than it just being straight on. Yeah, no opening mouths, but that's fine. That keeps her feet more stable. But yeah, overall, not too bad, honestly. I thought this one would turn out a lot worse, because she definitely has the weakest deluxe toy. But yeah, honestly, not a bad mode. And compared to some of the others, she's actually holding together a little bit better in her animal form. Neat. Alright, last one is Zenkaivrun. Pretty cool looking overall. We got a couple parts here. We're going to plug this on the back. And we'll talk about that more in a moment. And we give him his pickaxe, and he's all set. Pretty cool overall. I think this one looks very nice. A lot of people point out he does look like Transformers Micron Legends / Armada Optimus Prime. But he is very evocative of Daiboken, especially with the grill chest, and especially the head, which is pretty cool, since he is all Bokenger themed. And yeah, pretty neat overall. He's got same articulation as the others, even though he's on a completely new mold. So outward shoulders, biceps, elbows, hips, knees, thighs, waist, all that goodness. Pretty much what you'd expect at this point. Now to transform him, we're going to take this off. We're going to take the back piece off, disconnect the waist, disconnect the head. Why is Juon the only one that doesn't disconnect the head? We're going to line this up so it's kind of like the grill part's facing forward, and then the arms are there. And then we're going to take this whole section with the legs and fold it up like that, and plug this on here. And then this is going to plug into the back plate. Interestingly enough, these side pegs aren't used for anything, so I'm almost wondering if this back plate piece is going to get reused in a future Zenkai change figure. And then this hole on the bottom, line up with that hole there, and then I'll plug it on straight away, and line that all up, and you've got probably the most solid transformation of the whole set. He is a brick, and I mean that in all ways because he doesn't have moving wheels. I mean, I guess if you just throw him hard enough, he slides, but you're likely to scratch a table. So yeah, no working wheels, which is kind of a bummer, but at least it stays together better than the others. Let's get a group shot of them together. In case anyone was wondering, the Kikai-Noids cannot hold the Gatling. It doesn't fit, so don't buy a bunch of Zenkaisers just to get these, because they're not going to be able to hold them. So first up, here's all the Kikai modes, well, with Gaon and Juon corrected from the official designs. Yeah, like I said, definitely Vroon's the most solid. Majin's not too bad. Gaon's pretty good. Juon's not great, mostly because the straight-leggedness is just really kicking it. But yeah, that's all their transformed states together. And there's the whole team together. So seeing all of Kikai Sentai Zenkaiger together, these are great. Now, the unfortunate part is they are painted Yudo. That is an absolutely undeniable fact. It's something I wasn't sure of when looking at photos. It definitely was more obvious on Zenkaiser. But yeah, they are painted Yudo, which means they have all the drawbacks that Yudo have. That being said, it's all stuff that can be fixed, but mostly it does feel like when you're playing around and posing the figures, you just like to pop apart. Zenkaiger does not have that. Zenkaiser does not have that problem. The Kikanoids do. And it's not really a problem with the transformation, it's just the joint tolerances are kind of loose. And stuff that's not supposed to pop apart, like Majin's knees, end up popping apart. And that's kind of the overall problem, I think. But in general, they are nicely made figures, if not super solid in the sense of they will kind of tend to pop apart on you. And that's really my only drawback. Other than that, I'm pretty happy to have these, and I do like the cross-compatibility with Yudo, as that does let us put them with other Sentai figures. This isn't a new scale starting up. This isn't like the Rider Kicks figures, where they're larger and more expensive. They're, 1,500 yen makes them more expensive than Yudo, but you are paying for paint. And that's definitely what you're paying for, because they are nicely painted. But yeah, I mean, the more I think about it, maybe there is a reason why all the body parts pop apart, whether they need to for transformation or not. Because, I don't know, maybe you're supposed to just have fun with it. Hey, I just Frankensteined all of them together. And I'm sure people can come up with crazier things. While not as robust as, say, the Ryu Soldier Mecha line, I'm sure we could probably, Frankenstein them together some more, maybe merge them into one all-powerful being. Maybe. And maybe this experiment's gone a little too off the rails. I think I've scared poor Zenkaiser here. His whole team has become horrid abominations that... A couple of these don't look too bad. Anyways, craziness aside, I think I should fix them. This is horrifying. So now that the natural order has been restored to the review space, I can say that the Zenkai Change series figures are far from perfect, but are definitely a step up from Yudo, at least in the looks department. These feel like Yudo, they play like Yudo. These are Yudo figures, but they're painted. And I hope that we get, whatever the 6th Ranger will be in a Zenkai Change series, because I would like him to match the others. And if we get any villains in Yudo, and they don't make them in Zenkai Change, they'll be cross-compatible, which is pretty nice, in addition to these fitting in with all the recent Sentai action figures we have gotten from Yudo and Super Shoto. So, on that, pretty good. The biggest drawbacks, of course, is the transformations aren't great, the alternate forms don't look that good, and that causes the limbs to pop off. But like I said, you can kind of have fun with it. You can have fun with the combinations and mixing and mashing and making weird abominations. I hope that's the thing that the figures are most remembered for, because that's the most fun. But yeah, that's it for this review. If you're looking for these, check a look at your import sites. I got mine from Amazon Japan. I believe Toku Collectibles also sells these. Otherwise, if you're outside Japan, look where you normally buy Sentai stuff, and hopefully they will have them. They're not too expensive, they're not too big, so they should be overall a nice, manageable price for most people. So I definitely think that is an advantage. But if you enjoyed this video, please leave it a like, hit subscribe, hit the notification bell to keep up with future uploads on this channel of random topic switching, because I don't know what my focus wants to be. I did like 2 Kamen Rider videos in a row, and then now I'm doing Sentai, and then next video might be Sonic the Hedgehog, and there's all kinds of stuff. And I've got a back catalog of 11 years of videos, so if this is the first time watching, take a look. You might like what you find, and if you don't, that's fine too. Thanks for watching this far. And also check out Hero Club at hero-club.com for all of your Sentai news and interviews and reviews and more. Lots of cool stuff happening over there. Check out my awesome graphic designer on Twitter at DarkClaw643. If you enjoyed Tokusatsu, be sure to check out Ninja Talks Live every Wednesday at 9 p.m. Eastern on the Visible Ninja YouTube channel, as well as the Hero Club for Life Twitch channel. And until next time, this is Soundout saying goodbye.